Hey guys, it's Laurasia and here I'm just showing you a little preview from scene 1, which just shows you how I kind of customize my pre-flux frontal from Maxine hair, as well as bleaching my knots and shampooing and conditioning my hair. Now this is just going to be me showing you how I made a different wig. The Maxine hair is from another wig that I made, but this hair is from Jolia's hair, and it's their 14, 14, 12 inch and then the 12 inch frontal. So that's a wig I'm going to be making today for you guys. So starting out, I'm just showing how I pinned down the actual frontal all around the front of the wig cap, and then I pinned that down with any T-pins. I got them from the beauty supply store, and I'm going to show you how I just sewed down the actual wig frontal. So I'm just going through the wig cap, going through the frontal, doing 2 loops and pulling it through, and I just do this all around the frontal. Doing the loop method like this just really makes sure that the thread is secure onto the actual wig cap, and the actual thread in the actual sewing isn't going to be too loose, and it's actually going to stay for a very long time. Now my ultimate goal is to get an actual wig head so I can show you guys a better view of how I do my wigs. But this is my first time ever doing a wig. I didn't really plan this, it was just sporadic. So my mission is to definitely get a wig head so my videos will be a little bit better as far as showing detail work on how I do certain things, but that's for future reference. So now I'm just showing how I put the first track down. So I'm just putting it as close to the end of the wig cap as possible, so like if I wanted to wear it in a ponytail or anything I could, and it's not going to be showing. So I'm just doing this all around the nape of the wig cap, and then doing that 1 or 2 loop around the thread, around the actual needle, I'm sorry, and then pulling that through. Now I'm just going to be showing how I fold my tracks without cutting, because this is expensive hair. Well, not really, it's from Aliexpress, but it's very affordable hair and it's nice hair, so I don't want to ruin it by cutting it, and that produces shedding and everything else. So I'm just kind of looping and threading all the way to the end of the frontal, or to when I get to the frontal, and then I'm just doing 2 loops, pulling that through, making sure it's tight and secure. And then once I get to the end, I'm just going to fold it right over. The tracks are so thin that this isn't really a problem. Usually it's kind of hard when your tracks are super thick and it's like super bulky when you try to do the fold over method. So that's kind of when I cut my tracks, but this thread is super thin. All the tracks are super thin, so it's easier to fold over. So when I fold it over, I make sure it's really flat, and then I kind of loop through the actual track, and I loop through the frontal, do my 2 twirls around the needle, pull it through, and I pull in the opposite direction of where the frontal is, so that the thread will be laying flat and it's not going to be going in the opposite direction. And then I just start doing my regular sewing all around. Now I didn't show all the footage because all I did was just do the same thing over and over and over again. Just sew the thread, loop it, and then fold over, sew it, loop it, fold over. It's the same thing over and over. So I'm just going to show you how I did the last part of the actual sewing. So I take the tracks all the way up into the beginning of the frontal, loop through the track, loop through the frontal, pull in the opposite direction so that it lays flat, and I'm actually pulling the frontal back so that there's no gaps. And I just do this all around the beginning of the actual tracks. Then I just cut the track, sew the same thing, and then loop the track so that it's pulled tight, and then I just cut the excess thread off. Now I'm just showing how I cut the actual end of the wig cap off. Just don't go too close because you can actually mess up and go and cut the thread so that everything comes loose. That's kind of doing the opposite of what you want to do. So just kind of cut not too much off, but then not too close at the same time. And I'm just doing this all around the perimeter of the actual wig. And this is just a finished product, just showing how the wig looks. Like I said before, this is Jolia Hair, 12-inch frontal, 12-inch, 14, 14. I didn't end up using all of the bundles. I only used 114 and 112 and then the frontal because I didn't want it too thick. And I also sold in an elastic band. If you guys want to see a tutorial with me doing that, it's super easy. But if you want to see that too, I'll make a tutorial with me sewing on my elastic band and another wig that I'm going to be making. So this is completely it. Stay tuned for part 3 because that is where I'm going to be showing how I bleached my hair, made my bob, did waves, and did everything, glued down, not glued down, but gelled down my frontals to make it look more realistic on my scalp and everything. So definitely stay tuned for that. I love you guys times 100. Thank you so much, fairies. Bye.